That's not the case. In NXT, there's contracts as low as $30,000 a year, and they do not go as high as you think. And when you have to live in Florida, which it's very expensive to live here. If you don't know what you're talking about, a lot of you need to shut the fuck up. What people are going through, you don't know what people make. And I think everyone just needs to stop assuming they know everything, because they don't.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about Priscilla Kelly, formerly known as Gigi Dolin, when she talks about the NXT salaries, and you won't believe what you're going to hear, how much the NXT superstars make. Let's tune into the locker room, talk about it. Hey guys, we back at the locker room. Toss the Ring Scandal, aka KDH. We're talking about Gigi Dolan exposes the WWE NXT salary. We're talking about NXT, what their salaries are for the NXT superstars. You guys tune in. We about to air some dirty laundry on this one. Now, former WWE star reveals shocking truth about NXT salaries. And we're talking about a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, Priscilla Kelly, also we know as Gigi Dolin. She revealed in an interview that she is making more money now on the independent circuit wrestling than she ever did her whole time in NXT. Now, during a recent interview with Denise Salcedo, if I said it right, Kelly addressed the common misconception that all WWE talent are wealthy. She stated this assumption is particularly untrue for developmental talent. Now, she said a common misconception about NXT performers that we're millionaires. A lot of our fans, for some reason, if you work at WWE, you're under that umbrella that you're a millionaire. You live in a mansion, drive the Benz, you got it made. But she said that's not the case. And she's talking about, too, how frustrating it could be being a WWE superstar. She said living in Florida is expensive. Most of the talent live in Florida because that's where the NXT tapings are. Now, they originally at Full Sail University, back to the developmental days when Triple H first ran it. It's still in Florida, but now Full Sail University. She also talked about you got to subtract for food, everything else, wrestling gear, travel, etc., etc. She's saying that it is hard living on that salary. She said it could be as low as 30 grand a year. It could get that low. Not saying it's particularly that low. Now, her and Denise, they talk about it. And also, we hear more from Jazmyn Nix as well on her reason why she turned down a contract renewal to re-sign with WWE, which we know happened not too long ago in her interview with Ariel Helwani. But let's see what Gigi Dolan had to say here.
About especially NXT performers is that we're millionaires, right? Like, a lot of fans for some reason think that if you work in WWE and you're under that umbrella, you're a millionaire. You live in a mansion, you're driving a Benz, like you've got it made. That's not the case. In NXT, there's contracts as low as $30,000 a year, and they do not go as high as you think. And when you have to live in Florida, which it's very expensive to live here. Going out to eat just for two people can run you $100+ like, because everything's marked up from tourism, and Florida's just a hotbed for people. So it's very expensive living here, having to pay for new gear all the time and all these expenses, and taking care of your body and getting like all these little things, like it all adds up. And at the end of the day, especially because you can't make money outside of what you make in WWE, you don't make a lot. And I think the common misconception is that we're all just rich and rolling in money, and that's just not the case. And even main roster talent, like, of course there's people on main roster that are making the really big bucks, but that's a small percentage. A lot of people that are up there, like, they make good money, but they're paying for every hotel, they're paying for all their travel and all the food, everything they need, on top of the other expenses of gear and taking care of your body and taking care of your sanity. And I think that's something, like, especially with a lot of things that have been going on online lately, I think everybody needs to take a step back and realize, like, if you don't know what you're talking about, a lot of you need to shut the fuck up, because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what people make. And I think everyone just needs to stop assuming they know everything, because they don't. I used to get like backlash because like the one cool thing was WWE was cool with like, you can have like an Amazon wish list, which is where you know, you have like things that you want. It could be like stuff like massage guns or clothes, whatever, and you have it on your wish list. And I've had a wish list since my time on the indies, because it's just like, it's, you know, some fans, they like to gift people stuff. It's just a cool thing they like to do to show support. And it's, you know, it's cool of them. Like, if there's somebody that I looked up to and I wanted to gift them something, like I would do the same. But fans would like get really mad and be like, why do you have a wish list when you're a millionaire? It's like, I don't have a wish list because I need people to buy me stuff. I have that because it's just a way for people to like show support if they want to. But also, I'm not a millionaire. Like, I wish I was. But with all of that being said, I actually think with the amount that I work and the amount that because I've always been a hustler during independence. Like, I've always been a person that works my ass off and hustles and tries to capitalize everywhere I can. With all of my work, all of the bookings that I've been taking and everything, I arguably think that I actually make more than I made in NXT now, which is wild for people to comprehend. But yeah, I think I actually make more now.
I'm not surprised to hear that at all, honestly, because I've heard people say that to me. I just had, obviously when Elena Black, the former Cora Jade, she was on this channel talking about something similar about that. And it's like, recently, somebody that made the headlines was Jazmyn Nix, because she was probably one of like the more recent examples of people that actually spoke out about how she wasn't, happy with what she was making. She basically said, like, I can't live off of this amount. And
they come to you with a new offer.
Yeah.
You obviously aren't happy with the offer. Do you propose a new number?
Yeah, so it was honestly like kind of a long process for me, because it was like a back and forth situation. But yeah, basically they reach out, they say, here's what we are offering you for the next 3 years, and you either accept right then and there or you try to negotiate. And I tried to negotiate, and the offer stood as it was. Went back a couple times, like, what about this? No, offer stands. I'm like, okay. And if
no budging,
no budge. And
how far apart were you
from
what you wanted and what they were offering?
I just wanted any compensation. I felt like after 3 years,
when you say compensation, they wanted to pay you, so that's compensation.
Yeah, so
you wanted a raise, right?
I wanted a raise.
Yeah. So like, how big was the gap? Like, were you like, miles apart, or were
No.
you thought that they could meet you?
I felt like there definitely could have been like a meet in the middle, but after I realized there was no budge, I was like, okay, like that's kind of where it stands. Like, there's nothing else I can do or say. It just was like, okay, any sort of raise will do. And it was no raise. So.
Was this the same number that you were making the previous 3 years?
Yeah.
So it didn't go up,
right?
And you were hoping for something higher.
Just
okay.
Based off of, like people who are coming in, obviously me came in at that rate. And after 2 years of being on TV every single Tuesday, working for TNA as well, I felt like maybe, a raise would be understandable. And,
Did you ask why?
There's nothing you can really say. Like, everyone, cost of living goes up every year. You have to make a living. Like, if you don't get a raise, you're losing money. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I looked at it. And I just felt like at that time I had to make the decision for myself. And
so you were going to struggle, you were saying, like you couldn't live.
It felt like, yes, it felt like I was losing money. I was not gaining in terms of, like I'm paying for my own rent. Like I'm an independent woman, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to do everything. You pay for gear, Like, you pay for hair, makeup. Girls are different. Like, there's a lot of expenses, especially being in WWE. Outfits, everything.
With that, there was like two reactions. There was people that was like eye-opening. I didn't realize that this was the prices that, you know, NXT people were getting paid. And for other people, they were like, you know, trying to trash her and say like, oh, you're taking it for granted. You don't want it bad enough. And I'm like, at the end of the day, like, we all live in a society where bills are going up and we got to pay more money for just about everything. I live out in California, so I get it. Like, I get it. Like, everything costs an arm and a leg. So it's one of those things where I always feel like you cannot judge someone for making a decision that is a financial decision for themselves, right? And amongst other things, right? That wasn't the only reason, but I do think she started that conversation of people saying, oh shit, like, I didn't realize, some people didn't realize that that's what NXT contracts were all about, unless you like knew.
Now, that was Gigi Dolan talking about her time in NXT, how much she made. She's saying that also that WWE is very limited. They won't let you do much. She talked about cameo money from there. And she also talked about how, you know, it's NXT, it's a lot to do. You're limited to what you can do WWE, there are rules, and then you can make to the lowest 30 grand. Now, I'm pretty sure, I heard it could be as low as 75,000, but I'm pretty sure Gigi Dolan's talking about after everything subtracted. Taxes, food, everything else. You probably taking home 30 grand a year. I know people gonna say in the comments, well, at Brian Alvarez or this says 75. I'm pretty sure she's referring to that. Now, we know it's developmental. We know it's not the main roster, Raw, SmackDown. But also, we do know NXT compared to the original NXT days. NXT is on a TV deal. They're under the CW network. And we know that once you get a TV deal with wrestling, the entertainers, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them, independent contractors, they get paid a little bit more now than they did back then. When they was back on the network, they was only getting maybe $500 a week, maybe less. But we do know that they're not just doing the Tuesday taping. They also have live events on Saturday. I believe Friday maybe too. We do know also that they don't also only wrestle for NXT. They also now travel to AAA, travel with TNA, and they also could get called to go to Raw, SmackDown any given time, whenever they're needed. So that's why it's a little more compared to the original NXT days, a little more money. But you still have to factor in everything else. That's why with these superstars, they're very big on carpooling. They don't all ride in separate cars. They ride in the same car to save money. They also got to subtract for hotel fare, airfare, and everything else. So it can be expensive being a WWE superstar. You know, developmental brand. Now, I know we see some of these developmental or superstars riding around in fancy cars. You don't know what the story is behind that. Could be leased, could be rented. It's not necessarily theirs. Now, don't get me wrong. Like Gigi Dolan said in the video, there are people that's making big money. We're talking about Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. Them guys are making millions of dollars per year on a contract. But we're just talking about the regular average person that's not a mega superstar or a main eventer or world champion. They're not making that kind of money. And we also heard with Jazmyn Nix where, you know, they don't, nowadays when you're in NXT or Evolve or the WWE program, they don't offer you too much more money unless you are a real big star. You really don't make no money, honestly, until you go to the main roster. That's why the goal has always been, if you're Evolve, especially NXT, you want to go to the main roster because that's where you start making some decent money. Rich Holland recently talked about how he took a big pay cut going from main roster to NXT, $200K to be exact. But you guys let me know what you think of Gigi Dolan exposed to WWE NXT salary. Gigi Dolan says NXT pays no money. Click the link below to the next video, guys. You already know what it is at this point. It's OUT.